Once upon a time, in a little house in the forest, there lived 3 little pigs, Honky, Ponky and Minky. They lived with their mother. Honky was very lazy. Ponky was very carefree and easygoing. And Minky, the smallest one, was smart, forward-thinking and a brave pig. He behaved as if he was the father of the house. Whenever there was a problem, their mother would always resolve it with Minky. The others wouldn't even move a muscle. Despite the fact that these 3 brothers were so different, they really loved one another. In their spare time, after sleeping and eating, they always played hide and seek in the forest.
3, 4, 5.
Honky and Ponky always napped in the spot in which they were hiding, and Minky would find them each time, wake them up, and then tag them. Minky had no other option than to accept his brothers the way they were.
I'm always it. It's not fair. I'm so tired of looking for you.
Oh, let me sleep a little bit more.
He'll spend all day searching for me.
Children, don't go too far away whilst playing. You know that the forest is dangerous. It's full of hungry wolves. Honky and Ponky expected their mother to do everything for them. Minky, however, always helped their mother. One day, he took their mother aside.
Mum, this can't go on like this any longer. We're the ones who always bring the wood from the forest. You get tired cooking for us every day. I think my brothers and I should leave and we should take care of ourselves.
Don't be ridiculous, Minky. You're all my children. I'm used to it all.
Of course, Mum. But my brothers should learn to take responsibility. It'll be good for them too. Huh? What do you say?
I think you're right, Minky. Then let's talk to your brothers tomorrow and put this idea straight into action. I'd saved all of you a bit of money. I'll split it to 3 and give it to you all. Everyone should build his own house. Let's see what happens. Even though Minky's brothers were shocked at their mother's idea, all 3 little pigs, bags in their hands, set off on the road the next day to start their new lives. They were very excited. They parted with their mother at the door.
Mom, I'm so sorry I upset you by being so lazy all the time. See you.
Mom, I never listened to anything you told me. I upset you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. From now on, I'll remember everything you've told me. Goodbye.
Mum, don't be sad that I'm leaving. After I finish my house, I'm going to come and get you. Take care.
Their mother was very concerned that something bad could happen to them in the forest. Take care of yourself, kids. Let me know how you are, and please watch out for treacherous wolves. The 3 little pigs walked for a while and finally decided on a spot for their new houses. It was quite far away from their home. Minky especially wanted it to be like this. He didn't trust his brothers. He thought that they should really learn to take care of themselves and not run straight to their mother at the first problem they are faced with. It was first Honky that found a spot for his house. Because he was lazy, he was choosing the easiest option.
I'll make my house from hay, and once I make my bed from hay too, I'll be nice and warm throughout the winter. I won't have to work so hard. I'll also have some money left because it's cheap and easy to build a house of hay.
Ponky was nearly the same.
I'm going to make my house out of wood. I'll also paint it nicely. This is the best option. If I rent one room out, then I won't even have to work. I think it'll be easy to make a house out of wood.
Guys, are you crazy? How can there be a house from hay and wood? You're both picking the easiest options again. If I were you, I would think about it again.
You take care of yourself, Tiny.
And he's telling us what to do. You short pig, you! Ha 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 ha!
The 3 little pigs were building their houses close to one another. Honky had built his house out of hay in one day. He had even started to fall asleep on his bed of hay, and Ponky built a scrappy house within a day with the wood that he had bought.
Oh, even this house is too much for me. As long as I have a roof over my head, I don't care about anything else.
Minky was going to make his house out of brick. First, he carried the brick, and then he dug a large base. Then, in the next couple days, he built a wonderful house with 4 rooms and a fireplace out of brick and cement.
I'll carry water and wood for old people and take care of their gardens. I'll go to the market for them. This way I can be of use to everyone. And I'm sure they will give me a plate of food and an allowance.
It wasn't long before the dangerous wolf in the forest got the smell of the 3 little pigs. First, he went to Honky's door.
Neighbour, my sweet neighbour, welcome. Can I come in so that we can meet? I live nearby.
This must be the voice of the wolf that Mother warned us about. As far as I know, there aren't any neighbors around. I know who you are, you horrible wolf. I'm not going to open the door.
The wolf got really angry.
Get out of there quickly. My breath is incredibly strong. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down.
No, my house is strong. You cannot destroy it.
The wolf took a step back, took a deep breath in, and then he huffed and puffed towards the house with all his might. The house of hay completely fell apart. Honky managed to escape and ran straight to Minky's house.
Minky, the wolf came to my door and destroyed my house. And I ran to you. I think he's going to Ponky now. Quick, close the door.
Oh no! Let's call him and let him know right away. Hello, Ponky. Get out of the house immediately. The wolf is coming towards you.
Hello? Minky, is that you? Look at what you're fussing over. My house is solid. There's no way he can get in.
Indeed, the wolf who hadn't managed to catch Honky was headed straight towards Ponky's house.
Yoo-hoo! Anyone home? Little pig, I brought you a small gift from your little brother. Open the door, let me come inside and let's talk a little.
He wouldn't have time to send me a gift from his sleep. Either way, my brothers called me to let me know that you were coming. You stupid wolf! I'm not opening the door. Now get out of here.
So you're not opening? Okay then. My breath is incredibly strong. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down.
Not wanting to leave empty-handed, the treacherous wolf gave the house a couple of kicks. Then after huffing and puffing on the scrappy house, it fell apart. Honky managed to escape and get to Minky's house.
Quick, open the door, Minky. The wolf's going to catch me. Please hurry up.
Minky took his second brother into the house too. The 3 of them were shaking with fear. The 3 brothers sat down and started thinking.
I think it's your turn, Minky. He's coming here for sure.
Yes, I think so too. We must find a way to free ourselves from this wolf once and for all.
But how?
The 3 pigs quickly made a plan
Gotta make a plan, guys.
Good idea.
and started to wait for the wolf.
Come on.
When the wolf arrived at Minky's house, he called out.
I know that 3 of you are there. Come out nicely, or I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow this house down too.
Come on, what are you waiting for? Break it down if you can. Turn around, go, and leave us alone.
The furious wolf started kicking the door and the walls. There were 3 locks on the door, but the 3 pigs stared at each other with fear and hugged one another tightly as they watched the door. The wolf kicked, huffed and puffed, but he couldn't destroy Minky's house. Suddenly, an idea popped into the wolf's head. He was going to enter the house through the chimney. He went onto the roof by placing a ladder against the house. he managed to squeeze himself into the chimney and let himself fall. The 3 pigs were waiting for this moment. Right away, they lit a fire in the fireplace and started to watch. Since the wolf hadn't seen smoke in the chimney before, he hadn't thought of a fire. Falling quickly and straight down the chimney, he burnt himself from the fire. As fast as a jet, he went right back up the chimney in so much pain.
Help! Help! I'm on fire! Help! Help! Help!
Finally, the wolf's time is over. He'll never come back. Now it's time to go get our mother. My house is pretty big and there's a room for each of us. I've missed her very much, haven't you?
Have I? I won't be lazy ever again. I'll sort out of the shopping from now on.
I missed her too. And I will do the gardening from now on. I'm going to grow fruits and vegetables and help our mother.
Yes, all of us must help Mum by doing some of the housework and make her comfortable. We can also help some of our neighbours too.
Thus, Honky and Ponky changed a lot. Everyone started to look up to Clever Minky. With this wonderful ending, they took their mother in with them and they lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, there lived a mother goat and her 7 kids. They lived in a house in the forest. Mother goat loved her kids and would protect them at any cost. She would try to teach them lessons about her life experiences. And they were so cute. 4 of them were girls and 3 of them were boys. One day, Mother Goat wanted to go to the market to sell the butter that she had made. But she had to leave her kids at home by themselves.
My dear ones, I'm going to the market. Don't you dare open the door to strangers. Please be careful.
Okay, Mum.
When you come, show us your feet. If we believe that they are your feet, we'll open the door.
Mother Goat set off right after kissing all her kids goodbye. Meanwhile, there was a treacherous wolf wandering in the forest, searching for some easy prey. The wolf was hiding behind a tree, patiently waiting for the little goat's mother to leave the house. As soon as she left, he knocked on their door. He wanted to make use of this opportunity.
Who is it?
My dear kids, it's me, your mother. I've brought you some wonderful and delicious fruit. Open the door for me.
Hey, wait! I know this voice. This is the voice of the wolf. Remember what Mom said?
The wolf has a deep voice. Oh, my dears, please be careful and don't make a mistake, or the wolf will eat you all.
As the wolf couldn't get past the door, he knocked on the door to try his chance again. This time, he really thinned his voice to make it sound like their mother's.
My dear goats, I'm stuck outside. Come on, open the door for me. I'm so tired. I've brought you a lot of food. Why are you making your mother wait outside?
This sounds like my mother, but we need to be sure. Mother, please stretch your legs out from under the door. Remember what we discussed? Show us your feet.
So the wolf stretched out his feet. Of course, after seeing the dark feet, the goats realized that this was the wolf.
Get lost!
Get lost!
You're not our mother. Her feet are white.
Why the snow?
We won't open the door. We won't open the door.
We won't open.
The wolf got furious. He went to the bakery and bought a sack of flour. He came back to the kids' door and covered his feet in flour, making them completely white.
This should work now. I'm going to catch the goats. You little goats. You can't escape from me.
But the wolf had forgotten one thing. The little goats were very clever. Terrified of the wolf constantly hovering outside their door, they came up with a plan.
My sisters and brothers, I have a feeling. I think that this wolf isn't going to give up easily, and he's going to try to trick us. If this treacherous wolf comes to our door again, even if we see white feet, we'll peek from under the door. If it's indeed our mother, we'll recognize her smell from even behind the door.
The goats gathered round and whispered the plan to one another. They all had a different task. With joy, the wolf knocked on the door again with his feet snow-white covered in flour. This time he was so sure that he'd be able to trick the goats.
Kids, come on! I'm your mother. Look what I bought you. If you open the door, I have a gift for all of you. Here are my snow-white feet. Look from under the door. Did you see? Did you see my snow-white feet?
When the goats carefully looked at the feet, they realized that they were way too big to be their mothers.
Yes, they're white, but they are huge. Kids, this is the wolf again, not our mother. Come on, let's carry out our plan.
Okay, Mother.
I'm opening the door right away.
As they planned, everyone hid in a different place. One of them hid under the blanket, one under the bed, one inside the closet, one inside the oven, and another behind the curtains. And one of them went onto the roof. Her task was up there. Their plan was coming together perfectly. Finally, the little goat who knew that the time had come slowly pulled on the string that he attached to the door from inside the old big clock in the living room where he was hiding, and the door opened.
The door's open, Mummy. You can come in now.
The wolf that entered the house was shocked to find it empty.
Huh?
He couldn't see a single goat anywhere. Suddenly, he noticed something moving under the blanket. The wolf walked there slowly, holding his hands out. He lifted the blanket.
I've got you, little one. Did you think you could trick me? No one can escape from me. Rawr!
The big sister was the one under the blanket. In her hand was a bottle of spicy red pepper. Suddenly she threw all of it at the wolf's face. And the goat under the bed poured the bottle of oil on the wolf's feet. There was oil everywhere. The wolf's face, mouth, nose and eyes were burning, so he couldn't stand on the slippery floor and fell flat on the ground. Covered all in oil, the wolf rolled over and over towards the door, trying to escape.
Help! Help! I'm burning! I'm burning! Isn't there anyone to help me? My eyes are burning! I can't see anything!
The kid, hiding in the big old clock, poked his head out and with a hoarse voice,
Catch this treacherous wolf and punish him. He should know what it means to try to trick us.
Upon hearing this, all the others started throwing the tomatoes they had stored in the living room from the freezer, and also the marbles they played with to the wolf that couldn't run on the slippery ground. The goat on top of the roof threw a bucket of cold water over the wolf's head that was hardly able to come out the door. The wolf ran for his life as fast as he could.
I'll never come to this house again. I got burned from the peppers they threw at me. I froze from the cold water, and I'm covered in tomatoes. I'm a frozen tomato. If I had thought for 40 years, I would have never thought that these little goats could trick me. Either I've gotten very old, or these goats are really very clever.
Towards evening, Mother Goat returned from the market. She had bought her little goats a lot of fruit and vegetables so that they could be healthy. Each one of them was fond of a different fruit. The mother did not forget any of them and chose them carefully. When she arrived in front of the door, she noticed the entrance was completely wet. She looked up and there was not a cloud in the sky, and it wasn't raining. She knocked on the door and called out to the little goats.
My little goats, I'm here. Open the door for me. I'm very tired and my hands are full of bags. I also have a surprise for you.
Show us your
Show
feet.
us your feet.
Show us your feet.
Mother Goat stretched her feet under the door. The goats realized that these were their mother's feet right away. Her voice was also their mother's. They opened the door without hesitation. Mother Goat screamed with shock when she entered the house. It was a big mess. Peppers and tomatoes were on the floor, and furniture was scattered all around. Mother Goat was terrified.
My God, what happened to this house? What is this? There are tomatoes and peppers everywhere. Are you okay?
The little goats told their mother what had happened to them one by one. The mother was very sad, but was also very proud of her children. Once again, she realized how clever they were. Later, they all cleaned their house together. They ate their dinner.
My smart little ones, I love you all so much. You did well today. You acted together and you defeated the bad wolf. I'm proud of you. It makes me so happy to be the mother of such clever goats.
She hugged and kissed them one by one. The next day, they all went to the police to complain about the wolf.
Oh.
They told the forest police everything that had happened. The forest police congratulated the little goats for their bravery and cleverness. He even told them that if they wanted, they could become forest police when they grew up. The goats were very happy to hear this. The wolf was caught and sent far away. He was punished to never come back. The 7 little goats lived happily ever after, protecting one another, just like their mother had taught them. Once upon a time, long ago, there lived a lumberjack with his children by the edge of a faraway forest. The son was named Hansel, and the daughter was named Gretel. The lumberjack's wife, the children's mother, had died, so they were going through very hard times. As they were also a very poor family, they survived only on the herbs and fruits that they collected from the forest. The children never complained about the situation and always tried to support their father. One day there was a knock on the door, and a woman holding a huge bottle of milk appeared before them.
I've come from the neighbour forest. My house burnt down and I have no place to stay. I've also brought a cow with me. If I give you this bottle of milk and the cow, could I stay with you?
The father and children happily accepted this offer. At least they were now going to have a cow that could give them milk every day. After some time, their father married this woman, yet their impoverished life continued. One night, as the children went to bed, husband and wife started arguing, but Hansel was secretly listening to them.
Look at us. How can we feed the kids like this? I'm helpless. I don't know what else to do.
Well, I actually have an idea that could benefit us all, but I don't know if you'd accept. Tomorrow, let's take the kids to the forest and tell them that we're going to collect wood and we'll light a fire. Give each of them a loaf of bread and leave them there.
Don't be ridiculous. I love my children. How could I abandon them?
Don't worry. They're a lot older now. They can take care of themselves. When our situation gets better, we'll search for them. If not, all 4 of us will starve to death.
Hansel was a very smart child, so when he heard his stepmother's plans, he secretly left the house to collect pebbles. His mother that had passed away taught him this. She had told him that the shining pebbles at night will show you the way. In the morning, their stepmother woke the children up.
Hansel, Gretel, wake up! we're going to the forest. We need to collect wood for fire.
The first thing Hansel did when he woke up was to put the pebble stones in his pocket. As they walked to the forest, he secretly dropped the pebble stones to the ground. They headed all the way into the depths of the forest. When they stopped to rest, their stepmother and father lit a fire, put some bread next to them, and started to walk away.
Children, you rest a little by the fire. Me and your father will collect some wood and come back.
Their father was very sad, but helplessly he followed his wife towards the path home. He turned his head and looked at his children for the last time.
I will get my kids back at the first opportunity.
The children watched and watched their stepmother and father until they were out of sight. Realizing that their stepmother and father would not be coming back, the tired children fell asleep by the fire. When they woke up, it was very late and the moon was glowing brightly.
I'm so scared, brother. What are we gonna do? I don't think anyone's coming to find us.
Don't be scared, Gretel. The pebble stones I left in the moonlight shine brightly. We can follow them and go back home.
The children walked all night long, and finally they arrived at their father's home. The pebble stones had shown them the way. Their stepmother that opened the door stared in surprise.
What were you doing in the forest till this hour? We looked all over for you and couldn't find you. I bet you were being mischievous and hiding somewhere, weren't you?
Thus, pretending and fooling the kids. The father happily hugged his children.
Thank heavens you've come back. My eyes are swollen from crying all night.
But their stepmother wasn't giving up easily. Her only goal was to get rid of the children. She asked them how they had found their way back home, and Gretel told her everything one by one. Now that she knew how they came back home, she locked them in their room that night. That night, Hansel couldn't go out to collect pebble stones. The next day, they went to the forest again. This time, since Hansel didn't have pebble stones, while he was walking, he was dropping the breadcrumbs in his pocket onto the ground. The same thing happened, and the children waited by the fire once again.
I'm so scared, Hansel. It's very dark again. Let's go back home.
Don't worry. I couldn't collect pebble stones, but this time we'll follow the breadcrumbs that I dropped.
But when they set off, there were no breadcrumbs, because the birds had eaten all of them.
But where's all the bread?
They went in and out everywhere, but they couldn't find the way.
No way! What are we gonna do now, Hansel? Think of something, and I'm so cold.
Okay, Gretel, don't worry. First, let's find somewhere to warm up. One way or another, we'll find the way back home.
Both completely frightened and exhausted, they found a hollow tree and got inside to warm up. They fell asleep hugging one another. In the morning, they kept walking around the forest, not knowing where to go. 2 days passed by. Whichever way the kids went, they just couldn't find the way. Later, they saw a bird on a tree branch.
Oh, look! What a beautiful bird! It's as if it wants to say something to us. Do you think it'll show us the right way? Let's follow it.
It was a big, magnificent blue bird. The children, forgetting how tired they were, started following the bird. They saw that the bird had landed on the windowsill of a house.
Wow! What a beautiful house! It's as if the bird is calling us to come.
Come on! What are we waiting for? Let's go! We might find something to eat!
When they approached the house, they were completely baffled. It was a beautiful house made entirely of chocolate, cake and candy. The windows were made out of cream and the roof was covered in colourful candies. They started biting away at the house and tearing pieces off.
I'm going to tear off a little from the window side, Gretel. Delicious!
I'm curious about the candies hanging from the roof.
You should taste the doorbell, too.
This way, they filled their bellies with cake, sweets, cream and chocolate.
Hey, anyone there?
Yoo-hoo, we're here.
Helplessly, they decided to sit and wait by the door. A little while later, a sweet-faced, lovely woman holding a bag walked into the garden.
Oh, it seems I have guests. Welcome. My bluebird gave me the news a few minutes ago, so I came as fast as I could.
We're sorry. We've eaten a few things from your house without permission, but me and my sister have been really hungry for 2 days.
It's okay. My house is very special. The parts you have eaten grow back right away. Come on, go inside. You must be cold. Also, if you don't have a home, you can stay with me.
That night, she had them sleep in wonderful beds. And the next day, she prepared a delicious breakfast. Actually, this beautiful woman was an evil witch with treacherous plans. When she went to wake up the kids, Hansel and Gretel, who saw a horrifying witch in front of them, were screaming and wanted to escape from the room. But the witch captured Hansel and threw him in a cage and locked the door. She then threw Gretel into the kitchen.
Ha 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 ha! You stupid kids, you fell for my house made of candy. Go on then, cook the meals that you and your brother like. Get fat, so I can feel my belly more when I eat you. Go on and get started.
Since both children were incredibly clever, in order to not get fat, they only ate enough to survive. Gretel threw away the food on her plate when the witch was not looking, and Hansel hid the food in his jacket and trouser pockets.
Gretel, come here. Let's see if you've gotten any fatter.
The witch first picked up Gretel to check her weight.
You're such a skinny girl. You think that by staying like this, you'll manage to free yourself from me?
The witch pulled Hansel from his jacket. As she was checking him from outside the bars, the food in his jacket and trousers fell out. The witch immediately realized what was going on.
You thought you could trick me, huh? I changed my mind. I'm not going to wait until you get fat. I'm going to cook you both in the oven today. Let this be your punishment. Ha 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 ha!
She was so furious that she kept banging herself into things while she was strangling around the house. Because the witch was actually blind. It was then that Gretel realized that the witch couldn't see. She was by the stove, both crying and also planning on how they can escape.
Gretel, come here, quick! Take a look at the big oven in the kitchen. Tell me, is there enough wood inside?
The fire was burning hot, but Gretel tricked the witch.
The fire's about to go out, my lady.
Then throw in more wood. Quick!
That oven door is stuck. I can't open it.
What a useless girl you are. Skinny and useless. Here, it's this simple.
The witch then opened the oven door. The heat of the burning wood hit her face.
What's going on? You said there was no fire.
The witch stretched her hand out towards the oven to understand what was happening. Taking this opportunity, Gretel pushed the witch into the oven with all her might. When the old witch fell into the oven, she closed and locked the door. The witch's screams could be heard from all around. Gretel opened Hansel's cage and let him out. Both siblings hugged each other tightly. They were very happy.
My dear sister, well done! We're now saved because of you! Gretel, come on! Let's see if we can find something to use at home before we get out of here.
They wandered around the house together. There was a door to a room that the witch never allowed to be opened. When they opened it, they saw a chest full of jewels.
Let's fill our pockets right away. We'll have jewels instead of food this time.
They quickly got away from the house and entered the forest. It was as if all the paths were familiar. Finally, they saw their house from afar.
Father!
We're here!
The father that opened the door happily hugged his children. He was so happy.
Children, I have some news for you. Your stepmother got ill and passed away. I made a huge mistake by listening to her. Please forgive me. I've missed you so very much. I regret everything.
We've missed you too, Father. We missed our home and beds too. Now we can forget about everything and be together.
They took the jewels out of their pockets and gave them to their father.
Oh.
Their father stared with surprise.
What are these?
We're no longer poor. We're rich.
Father, we have so much to tell you. You have no idea what we've been through.
That night they sat by the fire and chatted till morning. The bad days were left behind, so they all lived a happy and peaceful life. Once upon a time, in a forest, there lived a family of mice. They were a very large family. The smallest of the mice, Funduk, was very different from his brothers and sisters. He was very small, and his colour was nothing like his brothers and sisters. In fact, his light brown fur and his deep black eyes made him look incredibly charming. Unfortunately, he was very shy because of his appearance, and this made him upset.
Why am I not gray and black like my siblings? I'm small and I'm weak. How can I protect myself in the forest? Who's there?
He started to become frightened of everything. Even if a simple leaf dropped on the ground, he would jump high. His mother always tried to encourage him to be brave. Why do you worry so much? Every animal is created differently for a reason. Maybe one day you will understand. Please don't be upset. Come on now, give your mother a kiss. But Funduk just couldn't get the courage he wanted or be calm. His brothers and sisters even made fun of him.
Scared Funduk, scared Funduk, scared Funduk.
One day, he got an idea.
This can't go on much longer. I need to find a solution to this. If I'm indeed so scared and if I can't protect myself, then I will go to the Lion King. I'm sure he can protect me and we can then live out all our days together.
He suddenly found himself at the entrance of the Lion King's lair. The large majestic lion was lying down in front of the lair, sleeping and sunbathing at the same time. Funduk went straight up to the lion and touched his nose.
Your Majesty, good day. Please forgive me for waking you up from your sleep.
The Lion King was incredibly angry that he had been woken from his nap.
And who are you, little one? Why are you disturbing me while I sleep?
My name is Funduk the Mouse. I have a request from you.
Go ahead. Tell me what's so incredibly important. Then I want to go back to my nap.
The Lion King shook himself and stood up. He stared at Funduk, feeling annoyed. In fact, Funduk the Mouse was so scared under the glaring eyes of the king, he was actually shaking with fear, but he mustered the courage and explained the situation.
As you can see, I'm a very small mouse, and I'm very scared of the forest. With your permission, I would like to request your protection. Help me, and maybe one day I will be able to help you.
The Lion King roared loudly, and and tried hard not to laugh.
What? You're going to help me? If you were under my feet with one wipe of my paws, you'd go flying in the air. Get lost. Before I get even angrier, go back home.
Feeling utterly helpless, Fundik the Mouse returned home and sat sadly in a corner.
Am I ever going to be of any use? I need to find a solution to this right away. But what?
The next day, as the Lion King was exploring the forest, he accidentally got caught in a hunter's trap. He found himself hanging by a tree. He was roaring furiously. The whole forest echoed with his roar. All the animals heard this sound and went to find out what it was. But because they were afraid of the Lion King, they could not help him. The poor Lion King was struggling inside the net. Thank goodness the hunters had not arrived to the forest yet, because it was too early in the morning. When Fundik the Mouse heard the loud roar, he and his siblings went to find out what it was. He was incredibly upset at what he saw. Suddenly, he came up with a solution. Although he was small, he was also very clever. He ran towards the tree where the lion was hanging from.
Where are you going?
Where are you going?
Don't go near him!
Fundik the Mouse climbed the tree and chewed on the net.
He must be mad! What's he doing? Come on, my brothers and sisters. Come and help me. If we all chew the net together, we can save the lion before the hunters arrive.
All his siblings jumped on the net and tore it apart. As the net fell to the ground, the Lion King stood up and roared. All the other animals hid behind the trees, except Fundik the Mouse, of course. The Lion King approached Fundik the Mouse.
Little Fundik, you are so clever. You saved my life.
Fundik the Mouse bowed in front of the king.
It is an honor to have been able to help you, Your Majesty.
The Lion King stood before Fundik the Mouse, feeling ashamed.
Fundik, I was wrong. I thought that because you were very small, you couldn't be of help to me in any way. I hurt you, yet I shouldn't have underestimated anyone.
Because of you, I was able to become confident and brave, and I succeeded in achieving my goal.
The hunters are about to arrive. Come, let's go to my lair. We can talk there.
Whatever you wish, my king.
The Lion King and Fundik the Mouse headed for the lair. On the way, the Lion King started teaching Fundik the Mouse how to become more courageous.
Fundik, I've been thinking, if you want, I can share my lair with you. What do you say?
Really? Thank you so much. Living with you will be very comfortable and great. In this way, I can also be with my mother and siblings whenever I want.
The Lion King had learned to no longer underestimate anyone, and Fundik the Mouse had learnt that it was not bad to be different from everyone else. They became very good friends and lived together happily. Once upon a time, in a very cold country, there lived two little children who were neighbours. They were very good friends. The girl's name was Gerda, and the boy was called Kai. They played together all the time. Every night, Gerda's grandmother would gather them in front of the fireplace and tell them stories. That night, Grandma was telling them the story about the Snow Queen.
Kids, the Snow Queen was a very beautiful girl with deep green eyes. But she was also just as evil. She would use sleighs to trick the children, capture them, and then turn them into ice sculptures. Like her hair, her heart was also made of ice.
Grandma, that's so scary. What if she comes to our house? We need to protect ourselves from her.
Kids, this is actually a true story. Please don't ever get on the sleighs of strangers. If you do, bad things may happen to you.
The next day, Kai and Gerda went out for some sled racing across the snow-covered countryside. Kai was still in the effect of Grandma's story.
Gerda, when I went to bed last night, I thought of something. I wonder if the Snow Queen can be melted. If we can get her near the fireplace, maybe we can melt her. This way the spell she casted on all those frozen children will be broken and they'll be set free.
Kai, please lower your voice. Maybe she can hear us and will get very angry. We must be careful.
I will melt the Snow Queen.
In fact, the Snow Queen could hear even a whisper from anywhere in the country. After hearing Kai laughing and making fun of her, the Snow Queen decided that she would bring Kai to her palace and turn him into an ice sculpture forever. She immediately sent a beautiful reindeer-drawn sleigh to where the children were.
Oh my God, what a beautiful sleigh this is! Do you think we should hop on and try it, Gerda? According to the story, the Snow Queen also has a sleigh, but this can't be it. Look how beautiful this is! It's covered in silver and so shiny!
No, Kai, don't get on. Remember what Grandma said? She warned us not to get on any stranger's sleigh.
It's so beautiful. I'll ride it just for a little and then get off right away.
As soon as Kai got on the sleigh, the reindeers took off right up in the air. Within seconds, they were out of sight. The Snow Queen was having him taken to her castle. Kai was very scared and regretful for not listening to Gerda. But it was too late. Months passed and they didn't hear from Kai at all. Gerda was very sad and was crying all the time. She kept waiting for her dear friend. Her best friend was lost, but she was certain that the Snow Queen had captured him. Seasons passed, the snow melted, and summer arrived. Gerda was worried sick, so she finally went to talk to her grandmother.
Grandma, I'm going off to search for Kai. I'm so worried about him and I've missed him so much. Please, let me go.
On one condition, Gerda. I trust you a lot, and you're a brave girl. But I have a magic mirror, and I want you to take it with you.
What good is this mirror to me, Grandma?
When you come face to face with the Snow Queen, make her look into this mirror. Only then you will see its use.
Gerda placed the mirror in her bag and left. While going through the forest, she came across a small cottage. She knocked on the door because she was tired and wanted to rest a little. A sweet old lady opened the door. Actually, she was a sorcerer who always did good spells.
Come in, pretty girl. We were waiting for you. I know why you're here, and I'm going to help you. You're searching for your best friend Kai. My cat Cotton will tell you where he is.
Really? Thank you so much.
Gerda immediately went next to Cotton, who was lying on a pillow by the fireplace.
Dear Cotton, how can I find my friend Kai?
Meow. There's a little girl in the cottage at the end of the forest. She told me to send you there as soon as you arrived. She knows where your friend is. Meow.
Gerda thanked them and left. She walked and walked, and when she reached the cottage at the end of the forest, night had already fallen. A little girl met her before she came and knocked on the door.
Welcome, Gerda. I was expecting you. Please sit by the fire and have something to eat.
I'm really tired and hungry. Thank you so much.
After you eat, get some rest. Tomorrow I will send you to the Snow Queen's palace. Don't worry.
In the morning, they went to the barn in the back, where there were 2 beautiful reindeers. The little girl could talk to the reindeers. She whispered to their ears to take Gerda to the Snow Queen's palace. Right away, they prepared a beautiful sleigh.
I don't know how to thank you for helping me.
Have a nice trip. Don't be scared. My reindeers will take you to the palace and you will find your friend Kai. Take these with you.
Gerda set off on the road with the reindeers pulling on the sleigh. They travelled for several days. Everywhere was covered with white snow. Thankfully, the little girl had given Gerda a thick coat, a hat, and a warm blanket.
I'm covered with a warm blanket while traveling on a sleigh. I'd be so happy if I could do this with Kai. Hopefully we can do it on our way back.
After journeying for days, they finally arrived in front of a shimmering white castle. Gerda realized that they had arrived at the Snow Queen's castle.
My dear reindeers, wait for me here. I'm going to go get my friend and come right back.
She went right into the castle. Everything was made of ice and was covered with icicles. She wandered around the entire castle, but there was absolutely no one around.
Kai! Kai! Where are you? Kai! I can't find you.
Her voice was echoing in the empty castle when she finally opened the door of a room on the top floor. Suddenly, she saw Kai. He was standing like a statue in the middle of the room.
Kai! Kai! Wake up! Talk to me! I've missed you so much, my dear friend. I've finally found you.
She was crying and rubbing all over and trying to melt the ice. She cried and cried so much that her tears started melting the ice around Kai. Suddenly, Kai came alive and started talking.
Gerda, I know you would come for me. I also missed you, and I'm so happy to see you.
We'll talk about everything later, Kai. Let's get out of here right away.
Right then, the Snow Queen returned to the castle and walked into the room where they were standing. She was terrifying. Gerda was seeing her for the first time. With her long white hair and deep green eyes, the Snow Queen was a beautiful woman. The Snow Queen started to shout with anger.
How dare you, entering my castle without permission and melting my sculpture? Now it's your turn. You asked for it. You will also be one of my sculptures. Ha 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 ha.
Gerda was terrified, but she knew that she had to stand up against the Snow Queen. Suddenly, she remembered the mirror that her grandmother had given her.
I've never seen anyone quite as beautiful as you. But unfortunately, your heart is not as beautiful. I feel sorry for you. You can turn me into an ice sculpture if you wish, but my grandmother sent you a mirror. Can you look at it once?
Give me that mirror. Why did she send this to me?
The Snow Queen took the mirror in her hands and was shocked, because the reflection in the mirror was of her as a child. She was a pretty little girl with long blonde hair and deep green eyes.
Oh my God, what's happening?
At that moment, a cloud of dust surrounded the Queen. Getting smaller and smaller, she turned into a small, beautiful girl. A miracle had taken place. The mirror was in fact magical. Those who looked into it would see their true selves. It seemed that the Snow Queen had been very sad as a child because no one had played with her. One day, a sorcerer said to the Snow Queen, "You have to punish them," and asked if she wanted to seek revenge on those who didn't play with her. Filled with sadness as a child, she had made the wrong decision and had said yes. The sorceress turned her into the Snow Queen and filled her heart with evil. Since the mirror had broken the terrible curse, everyone was now filled with joy. "Thank you so much. I'm saved now. My heart is filled with kindness once again." Kai and Gerda went to the reindeers that awaited them, journeyed back the way they had come, and returned to their old happy days. And of course, to their grandmother's stories. Once upon a time, a long time ago, in a faraway land, there was a forest that had many different animals. They all lived there together and all got along very well. When winter ended, they would celebrate together the coming of spring. This was the time when bears would awake from hibernation, the rabbits, gazelles, and squirrels would jump for joy in the sun. They would enjoy the sunny weather, chatter away, and have a lot of fun. Every spring, there would be different activities. One day, the animals were discussing what sort of activities and competitions they should have for that spring celebration. They would have a long jump competition, best cooking contest, fast eating competition, and much more. However, all the animals wanted to organize competitions that they were good at.
I think this year we should organize a competition for picking the most apples from trees.
We did that last year. I think we should organize a fast-eating competition. What do you say?
I think it should be collecting walnuts. I'd win for sure.
Miss Gazelle had another idea.
Look, friends, I have an idea. In order to make this year's competition as fair as possible, we will have a draw. Pick 2 names, and whoever manages to go round the forest the fastest will win. What do you say?
Ooh, draws! I love them.
What? A race? What if I'm picked? As a bear, I can say I'm not very fast at running. I'm not going to join.
Done! I'm very lucky. I am sure I'll be picked.
They determined a starting and finishing point. Those that wanted to join in the forest race wrote down their names and handed them to Miss Gazelle. Then she, by creating a draw, picked the 2 who would be racing against each other.
I'm going to join this competition for sure. I'm certain that I'll beat anyone who races against me. Because, as you all know, I'm the fastest in this forest.
The hare was a know-it-all and very conceited. Everyone hoped that someone would teach him a lesson. All the animals waited in anticipation to see who would be taking part in the race. Miss Gazelle started to draw the names.
Okay, friends, the results of our draw are in. Our racers are Hare and Tortoise.
Everyone was very upset at the results of the draw. They were talking among themselves.
The tortoise would definitely stay behind in the race. We'll have to put up with even more boasting from the hare.
We're toast!
The end of this race is already clear.
The tortoise, who heard all the animals speaking, said,
I may be very slow, but I never give up.
Mr. Tortoise, the hare is very fast, but you... Everyone knows that you're a little slow. How could you win?
Like I said, we can never know. Sometimes being the fastest at something isn't enough. What's important is to never give up. Whatever happens, I will take my chance and race.
All the animals in the forest joined together at the starting point. The hare and the tortoise took their positions and waited on the squirrel to lower the race flag he held in his hands.
Come on then, Mr. Tortoise. Are you ready to race me? Let's see how fast you are. Ha 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 ha.
Let's see.
Whoever comes to the finishing point in the forest wins. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
The hare immediately rushed forward from the starting point. The tortoise, however, was walking slowly, inch by inch.
I told you so. The result of the competition is clear.
The hare ran, and at some point looked behind him.
There's no one coming or going. It's impossible for the tortoise to reach me. No need to stress myself out. Let me rest a little and then continue.
The hare, wanting only to rest, fell fast asleep. The tortoise, however, sweating away, was not giving up and continued to walk.
This road is too long for me, but no matter how tired I get, I will not give up.
The tortoise was walking with such determination and certainty in order to finish the race that he didn't even notice the sleeping hare under the tree. He just simply walked past him and continued on.
The hare must have reached the finishing point. But even if I'm to lose this race, I will finish it with pride.
Slowly, the finishing line of the race was starting to appear. He was getting closer and closer. The hare suddenly awoke from his sleep and started to walk towards the finishing line. He was so sure of himself, he didn't even feel the need to run.
I rested very well. Let me continue so I can finish this race and we can all start to celebrate. I'm the fastest in the forest.
After walking for some time, he started to see the finishing line from far away. But what was that? Clapping and cheering. He was in shock.
Bravo! Bravo! You won!
You taught the hare a good lesson, Mr. Tortoise.
Well done, buddy.
All the animals gathered around the tortoise who had crossed the finishing line. The hare walked up to them, ashamed of himself. He no longer had the know-it-all or conceited attitude that they were all so used to seeing.
But, how?
You must never see yourself above anyone else. Working hard and being determined is always the best way to move forward.
Yes, I think you're right, Mr. Tortoise. I belittled you and trusted myself too much. I congratulate you.
The hare never again said that he was the fastest. The tortoise had taught him a very good lesson, and all the animals in the forest lived together in harmony, peace, and happiness, as always.
Gretel loved reading fairy tales. One day, while she was reading, Hansel asked,
"What are you reading, Gretel?"
I'm reading the gingerbread man story, how he runs fast and nobody can catch him.
Yes, I know it. I read this tale too.
I wish I could meet him.
Haven't you heard? Gingerbread Man is going to run in the spring race.
Gretel was delighted with this news.
Really? Let's join the race. It will be nice to meet him and race against him.
Sounds good. We'd also be exercising.
The wicked swamp witch also found out that the gingerbread man was going to be in the race.
It will be very nice to have gingerbread man for 5 o'clock tea.
Hansel and Gretel went to town to join and watch the race and met the gingerbread man.
I'm so happy you're here. I love your tales.
The gingerbread man introduced them to his siblings.
Nice to meet you. This is Almond Cookie Girl and this is Chocolate Cookie Man. My brother and sister will join the race too.
Great! I'm Gretel. This is my brother Hansel. We are happy to meet you.
Of course, Swamp Witch was there too.
So, gingerbread man brought his siblings too. How nice, I will feast on cookies.
And the race started. Gingerbread Man was shouting while running.
I'm Gingerbread Man. Nobody can beat me.
His siblings were also running fast. Hansel and Gretel were left behind.
They run very fast. It's hard to catch up.
No, Piggy. It's still nice to compete against them.
Meanwhile, Swamp Witch was hiding and waiting.
Come here, little cookies.
But the witch's first move failed.
Bang! Come here. Don't run. I can't miss those other two.
The witch will catch you! Run! Run!
Jump! Okay, now you're in my hands.
Oh no! She caught them!
I'll catch you too, gingerbread man. I will eat you all.
Hansel and Gretel were coming from behind and saw what happened in front of them.
Oh, it's the witch! She caught Gingerbread Man's siblings! Let's save them!
When the witch realised that Hansel and Gretel were approaching, she stopped trying to catch Gingerbread Man.
These will be enough for 5 o'clock tea. Let me escape before I get caught by those two.
Gingerbread Man was very sad.
The witch will eat my siblings if I don't save them!
Hansel and Gretel were very sad for Gingerbread Man. They decided to help him.
Don't worry, Gingerbread Man. We will save them.
But first, they had to find out more about the witch and where she lived.
I have never seen this witch before. Where does she come from?
An owl perched on a branch told the children that she was a swamp witch and lived there.
So this witch lives in the swamp.
Let's hurry and save the Cookie siblings from that wicked witch.
Finally, after a very long walk, they reached the swamp.
That ivy house is probably hers.
Gingerbread Man was worried as time was running out.
We must save them before her 5 o'clock tea!
Inside, the witch was busy preparing her tea.
I'll taste you in a moment.
The children were trying to find a way to save the gingerbread siblings.
How do we save them?
Hansel immediately thought of something.
Here's the plan. Gingerbread Man, you'll get the witch's attention. When she comes out to catch you,
He explained his plan to Gretel and Gingerbread Man.
Okay, do you understand?
Yes, okay. We got it.
Meanwhile, the witch was getting ready to drink her tea.
Come here, Almond Cookie. Let me taste you first.
Oh no! She will eat my sister!
Get her attention! Hurry!
Hey, witch! Look, I'm here! Leave my siblings alone!
What's all that shouting? Who is yelling?
I'm telling you, let them go or I'll destroy you!
Oh, you came. Nice. I'll have another cookie now. Ha, 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 ha.
Come on, Hansel, tie her up. Oh no, Hansel!
Help!
So you were gonna tie me up, huh? The swamp is waiting for you to swallow you.
No, please don't!
The wicked witch had completely forgotten about someone. Gingerbread Man.
Help! Save me!
Quick! Let's save Hansel!
Okay, let's get the Cookie siblings.
I saved you!
Yippee! We are finally free!
I wouldn't have been able to save them without your help. Thank you!
Get me out of here! Help!
Let it be a lesson to you. I hope you never do evil again.
And so they happily made their way home. After Hansel and Gretel got rid of the witch, they lived a pleasant life with their father. But they still wondered about her whereabouts. They always talked about it when they went to bed at night.
What are you thinking about, Hansel? The same thing again?
Yes, the witch's treasure haunts me. I wonder where she got so much gold.
I like to know that too.
Maybe there's a way to find out.
Is that so? What is it?
We can go to the witch's house and look for clues.
I really don't want to go to that house again.
We must learn about the source of her treasure.
When the children arrived at the house, it was no longer what it used to be.
Wasn't it a gingerbread house made of cake? What is this horrible thing?
It was a spell she cast to trick children. When the witch disappeared, so did her spell.
Hansel and Gretel went inside. They looked around to find out where the witch got the gold.
I found something!
It's a map, and it has a text below.
Elves live under the rainbow where jewel-filled pots overflow. Wow, who are the elves? Where is this country?
There's a marked place on the map. It must be there.
Someone is at the door.
Who are you guys? Hey, don't run!
I guess they were afraid of us.
I wonder what's in them. Ah, they're filled with gold. These must be the elves mentioned on the map.
What are we going to do?
Let's go to the country marked on the map. I think the answer lies there.
The forest is a scary place at night. I wish we never came.
We can't turn back now. We'll go on our way in the morning.
I heard something. Could it be a wild animal?
The children were scared. They looked around, but they couldn't see anything.
Don't be afraid. It's probably just a squirrel.
When the sun rose, they set off again.
Hansel, look over there. How beautiful.
Wow! It's the rainbow mentioned on the map.
The land of the elves must be there.
When they were just on the road again...
Oh no! We got trapped!
These are the elves who ran away from us. Let us go!
I'm afraid. What are we going to do?
The elves took them directly to their village. When Hansel and Gretel saw the golden village, they were surprised.
Wow! Look at all these houses. They're all made of gold.
What will they do to us?
Finally, they were brought to a beautiful elf lady with a crown on her head.
I am the Queen of the Rainbow Country. It is a serious offense to enter our country. You will be on trial tomorrow. Oh.
In the evening, the children were sitting in the cage, brooding over what had happened.
How do we get out of here?
Don't worry, Gretel. The queen doesn't look like a bad person. When we explain, she will understand.
The next day, the children were taken in front of the Queen and were put on trial.
So you came here stealthily to steal our gold?
No, we're not here to steal your gold. We just...
So why did you come? To kidnap our children?
Why would we kidnap them?
To take them to the witch, of course. You had the map. You are guilty.
But you don't understand. We...
Hush! Don't deny it. I sentence you to C.F.R in the stone mill for life.
We are not guilty, please.
They don't look like naughty children, my queen. We should listen to them.
Tell us then, why did you have the witch's map?
Hansel and Gretel explained everything to the Queen, what had happened and why they came to Elfland.
So the witch imprisoned you in her house, but you escaped?
Then we found the map in her house.
And these curious children came this far.
The Queen believed the children's story and found them innocent. She told them how the witch got the gold.
If we didn't send her gold, she would take our children. She gathered so much gold from us, she became rich.
This is why we're leaving gold at our door.
You no longer have to send any. Your children are safe.
Are they safe? But how?
Because the witch disappeared. She can no longer harm anyone.
The Queen and the elves were delighted when they heard this news.
We got rid of the witch! Yay! 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 Yay!
Finally, it was time for the children to go back.
We owe you. Take this gold as our gift.
Thank you.
Bye. Goodbye.
They went home happily, knowing they had made new friends.